So in the studios with us right now, aside from our co-host Mary, we have also George Metz with G Metz Moving and Storage. George is talking with us today about what happens if your closing gets delayed. What happens with your moving company? Do you lose your deposit? Can you reschedule? George, this happens all the time. Please tell us, share with our listeners, what happens when you're using G Metz and this happens?
So what happens with us is, one, the best part about using us is you do not need a deposit.
Really?
So you do not.
I never knew that. You would do that for my clients.
Yep. We do that for a good portion of our clients. We do not take a deposit.
Wow.
So when they call, they get us. If they know that there may be a problem with it, we go over every possible scenario. Mm-hmm. I've been doing it 4 generations worth, and the on and on. The further we go into this year, the more it's happening, the more we're getting used to it. It's not something that just comes out of nowhere anymore.
Yes.
So what we do is we can store the stuff for a day or two, either on the truck or at our storage facility. If it's a week, if there's a full gap, we have multiple different ways we can store it in an on-site container. We can store it at our off-site facility. There are multiple different ways that we can work with them. The cheap, most effective way is to get it from your location into our storage facility. It gets stored there. If it's there for less than 2 weeks, we do not charge storage cost.
Wow.
If it's there for more than that, we do have to, it does accrue a little bit of storage cost.
No deposit, no storage costs.
Correct.
I think Mary wanted to say something.
I was going to say, basically, you're building in the contingency plan for the plan B, C, D, E, F, and G of things that can go wrong that are out of everybody's control.
Correct.
I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, for some, it happens more than not.
I'm just thinking of the nightmare of, OMG, I need to call the movers. I need to call the, cable company. I need to call the electric company. I need, all of the things that you have to continue to reschedule. And the biggest thing is if you're doing a closing on your own place or moving out because your lease is up, you don't necessarily get a couple of extra days there to make it all happen.
Correct. And with us, we really, after your client schedules with us, we do everything we can, whether it's, and they have to adjust their schedule. We do everything to adjust ours, whether we go in a later start for the day at 4 or 5 o'clock at night. We will do that for them. Really, whatever we need to do as our company to make sure that they get out of their home when needed to get into their new home. If we have to start at 5 in the morning, we're there at 5 in the morning for the 10 o'clock closing.
Yeah.
And then we sit around from 10 till 2 for their other closing. Yep. So it truly depends on exactly what they need.
Guys, George is a local Rhode Islander. He runs a local business here. You're working directly with the owners of this business. It's a family business, 4 generations. And I learned something new today. I didn't even know moving companies did that, and I don't think most of them do.
I don't think most of them have a storage facility, right, to do that?
Correct. Yeah. I know there's 44 licensed movers in the state of Rhode Island. Mm-hmm. They all do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
But again, we do everything very well. We try to just make sure that we cater to the customer. Every customer we cater to. Whatever their needs are, we make it happen and make it happen in a timely manner.
That's awesome. So if you're a real estate agent and your clients, listen, I don't care what transaction it is, if it's $150,000 or if it's $750,000. TRID, when there's mortgages involved, is really stalling closings. We all know this, okay? If you're a seller or a buyer, you may not know this, but there was a federal guideline that passed last October that's really stalling closings out 10, 15, 20, 30 days. It's crazy. You're going to want to link up with a company like G Metz, and these are the only guys that I know that do it. George, how can they get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of us at the office, which is 401-383 6399, or they could always send an email to the office, which is I'll give my personal email for that, George, George, at GMETZmoving.com.
And you can also check him out on the roundtableradio.com. I'm sure that is engraved in your brain by now. The roundtableradio.com. and you can check him out in the expert contributor section. George, always a pleasure.
Great being
Thank
here.
you
Making
so
moving
much.
less stressful.
Making moving less stressful as it can be.